Hey YouTube, it's Nikki, and I'm here on Tuesday night, 113 days before my GRS surgery, or GCS. Like I said, I'm lost on to which acronym to use anymore. Today and yesterday, I'm going to recap it because I might not be doing a video every day. I mean, that's not what I need to be doing, but there are going to be some times when things just cluster together. And yesterday is pretty much when one of those things happened. So I had my breast augmentation consultation yesterday, and it was quite interesting. I was well received by the staff there. In fact, I was just generally, from start to finish, just treated 100% cool. I mean, I loved the way I was treated. I came out of there with kind of a mixed message, but not from the people, just from the events that transpired. So I'm going to back up a little bit and explain. All day long I was having some apprehension as to what was going to go on during this appointment. And it's not like I haven't been to these things before. I had an ex-wife. I went around to the 3 or 4 surgeons that we looked at together for her, and she had a BA after my twins were born. And I'm used to like these things because I also had the GRS consultation, and I've had consultations for some other types of cosmetic surgery. So there was no reason for me to actually be getting very upset about this, but for some reason as time went on I was getting more apprehensive and heart racing and like getting into those positions where, into the frame of mind where something doesn't seem right. So that was leading up to it. So I got there, got taken care of really nice, filled out some paperwork, which there was very little paperwork left to fill out since I'd filled out everything online. I was very impressed that you were able to fill out the paperwork right online. And I was led in the back by a very attractive blonde nurse, and I am very bad because I didn't get her name, and that's just horrible. So I was led in the back, and I went and sat down in one of the examination rooms. She took my blood pressure and asked me a couple of questions, really cordially, outgoing, was interested in my whole trans status and everything. So after that was over, the doctor came in, and the doctor's right about my age. He's about 48, a little bit shorter than me. It doesn't matter what he is. He was really nice. He came in, he shook my hand, he introduced himself, and got right down to the nitty-gritty, which the first statements that he made really didn't set the tone. So here's the warning. Please don't get angry with this doctor or say anything negative. It turned out in the end he was really good, but up front I had a couple of issues. Sorry, I gotta fix my top a little. I had a couple of issues with just things he said. So the first statement that was said came right off the bat and said, all right, let's talk about insurance. Insurance pays for a lot of these things, so you have nothing to worry about from that point of view of getting the facility paid for, anesthesiologist, and the actual implants. However, my fee is $2,500, and I'm used to insurance companies not paying that full fee, so if it comes back drastically lower than that, I'm not going to be able to take you as a patient. And I was just like, what? What do you mean? You're in network, and doesn't that mean, and this is what I'm thinking, doesn't that mean that you got to take me? So I kind of let him say that, and we hoped, and I should say we talked, and I looked at him, I said, is it customary for them to pay you like $800? And he said, no, they paid me $2,000, they paid me $3,000, and they tried to pay me $800. I said, all right, so what you're telling me is that the normal is they pay between 2 and 3. And he was like, yeah, but I've on occasion gotten offered 8. I said, all right, well, let's see what happens. And he then asked me when I would do this, and I said, get the predetermination done, and you could pretty much pull the trigger anytime after that. So that was the first statement, and I was a little uneasy on that one. And then the next statement was pretty quick after that, and he said, 46 years old, you're trans, right? I'm like, yeah. And he said, married, kids, all that stuff. Why trans? And I said, well, and then in my mind I'm screaming, oh my God, this guy's asking me this question. And I looked at him and I said, well, you know, I don't need a letter for this. I've been cleared for GRS. Obviously I'm changing something that's irreversible and this is reversible. And he said, no, I'm just interested. I said, okay, I'll tell you from the point of view. I said, because I've talked to many trans people, and when I go to events or meet people, I pretty much get their whole history because it's just what we do. And I said, and mine isn't unlike anybody else's. I've known since a very early age. I said, me, 4 years old. I've prayed to be a girl for the first, I'd say 9 years of knowing, and the rest of the time I prayed that this would go away until recently when I started to transition, because there's no way it's going away. This is who I am, and this is what my path is. He said, well, that's good. That's a good answer. He goes, and that helps me out. And then he told me why. And it was one of those things where you kind of get the feeling that he really was interested, which made me feel more at ease and made me quickly forget at that point about the money thing, about the insurance thing. So I talked to him, and we bounced things back and forth, and he stated, I had this patient once, Time magazine photographer, lived in duality state, male and female, and wanted the top done, top, and gave a breast augmentation. And 5 years later, she came back and wanted them removed. I said, don't worry, I'm not going to have them removed. I might come back 5 years later again bigger, but no, I'm not going to get them removed. Don't worry about that. So we, pretty much satisfied each other with that. And then he went into the whole situation where he was talking about the issues and I'm saying issues, but he's really talking about what affects doing a breast augmentation on a trans patient. He's talking about nipple placement. He's talking about the distance between the nipples, distance between the chest, how the chest grows outward in a male, and just the different challenges we have. And then he wanted to know shape, size, type, under, over, in, out, all this stuff. And I listened to him, and I really said something, because I did a lot of research on him. I said, you know what? I said, Doc, I trust you, and I trust your opinion, and you've done more trans people, and I understand that it's better to go over with silicone and under with saline in this situation. I said, but what do you think gives me the most natural looking breast? Guys, if you see me scratching, it's still from the, that whole thing in the hospital. My skin is still crawling from that. I'm sorry. So his opinion was over the muscle, under the breast tissue, silicone for my breast shape. I've got a nice start. It's pretty much where it's going to be, but it's to make that natural look and the natural feel. That's what he suggested. So I think that he was right, because that's pretty much where I was headed anyway. And I also decided that if he wants to do a silicone, that's all right. I've read the pluses and minuses about it, and really I'm willing to take the risk. And you know what? If you want to put your comments in here, have at it. I take a long time to make my decisions. I research everything, and they're not right for everybody. The only person my decisions are right for is me. So I do appreciate opinions. I'm telling you that I've made this decision. So we got done with this, and we talked for about a good 45 to 50 minutes, and then he started asking questions about the hows and what fors and whens, and pretty much going back to what I said at the beginning of this conversation, I told him, I pretty much have decided that when you get the predetermination, let's go. So I helped him find some codes online with my phone, gave them to him, he wrote them down, and set off to do the predetermination this week while I'm working, and hopefully that gets done over the next 15 days. So that's where I'm at. So I mean, it turns out that whole uneasy feeling that I had yesterday was just me understanding that it's going to be a tough road ahead. Yes, I'm lucky that my insurance company covers this stuff. And I'm sorry that some of you don't have that. But I keep saying this, and I've said it in every video, it ain't easy. And it's not guaranteed that it's just going to go through. I mean, if I didn't have a bra, I wouldn't have boobs right now. I mean, it's pulling as much flesh as I have up and around, okay? But I don't think that I'm so fortunate and lucky. This is just a path I have. And I've got to jump through hoops too. And some of the things that I'm going through, not having the money and having insurance to take care of it, mean that I can't go to some people that I want to go to. I mean, Mark Zukowski, Dr. Zukowski, Dr. Z up in Chicago, does an amazing job with transgender breast augmentations. Amazing! I know, I've seen them up close and personal. I wish I could go through him. And Christine McGinn is an amazing GRS surgeon in Philadelphia, and she won't accept my insurance, and so I've got to go somewhere else, though my surgeon is probably equally amazing from what I hear. So there are just things that affect each one of us. And then there's some people that don't have the money to get it, and I feel for you. I know. I was one of you. And sometimes luck is bestowed upon you, like Lady Vixen, aka Jane Ellen, where somebody who is a supporter of you does it for you. So I'm in a good place, and I love my transition so far. I really do, even if I'm scratching all over the place. And I'm happy. And at 113 days to go before GRS, and I think I'm going to start calling GCS because that's what's on my paperwork. It's just gender confirmation surgery. I'd love to hear comments on which one you believe is the one that there should be, but WPATH really is the people that say what it is, and they've picked gender confirmation surgery for some strange reason. I'm not nervous about that because it's so far off in the distance and it's not set in stone yet. But I just think that this is the right path. On a last note, since I'm probably not going to do a video for the rest of the week, and I'll be doing it next week, a couple of things. Right now, is 11 months on hormones. 11 months on hormones. So this is what you get, 11 months on hormones. So I still got a little bit of weight I got to get rid of. I put on more since I started taking my injectables. But, you know, I am much different than I was in my beginning pictures. Much different than I was in my first video. So 11 months. Also, on a closing note, I had electrolysis today. So if everyone remembers how bad my face has looked in the past, I went to somebody new. It's the person that did my laser last month. She also does electrolysis. So I found somebody I love. It still hurt like a biatch, but she uses a different machine that does galvanic current, and like I said, it hurt like a bitch. But I came out of it, and my face is really just had a couple of swollen pieces that will probably be gone in a day. And she was good. I didn't feel any tugs on the hair. Most of them just slid right out, and if they didn't, she hit it until the thing fell out. So, had a good time with that. I'm just looking to fill 15 minutes. I apologize. I see it getting close. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I have a great bunch of loyal watchers, and I appreciate it. And I'll be back soon. You have a great week. Bye.